So good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in. This morning I'm out on the 1200 RS Speed Triple, courtesy of LING Motorcycles over in Gt Dunmow. So thanks very much indeed to you guys for allowing me out on this machine today. So first impressions are, the bike's quite small. I've never been on a Speed Triple or a Street Triple before, to be honest with you. So it's a very compact machine. My legs are quite high, the pegs are quite high on the bike, but comfortable actually. My knees are fairly bent, but no problems with that. The throttle feels quite heavy on this bike actually, compared to some bikes I've ridden before. I'm not sure if it's just the position of the bars, but as I'm increasing speed, it doesn't feel like the lightest action in the world. It's quite a stiff throttle. Maybe that's to do with the way the engine responds to the twists though, because it is quite quick. Like I say, a nice upright position, very comfortable. The mirrors are good, nice and stiff position for the mirrors. No problems at all with that. I will say, when I started the bike the first couple of times, I did stall it, so it needs quite a bit of gas. Quick shifter on this bike up and down, and the quick shifter is very good. As you change up, the bike does kick back slightly at you, which is interesting. Not something I've felt on any other bikes before. But yeah, so there is a slight kickback on the quick shifter. As you go down, no problems at all really going down. Does feel like a very well set bike. Very flickable, but very sturdy. Very controlled. It's got Mesler tyres on this bike. Like I say, it's a 1200 engine. 180 brake horsepower on this machine, 125 newton meters of torque. It's very quick indeed. I've got it set in road mode at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. It does have 5 rider modes: sport, track, rain, road, and rider. And rider, I suppose, is kind of like, BMW's Dynamic Pro, where you can set the bike to, a situation where you can personalise certain things to your taste, and you don't have to worry about just being rain or road or track or sport. Overall so far, it's a very pleasant riding position. Great responsive engine. The TFT screen is revised for this year, for this model apparently, and it is a very, very clear screen. It looks like there's quite a lot to go through, and I won't be able to go through all of that with you today on a first ride review. This is more about how the bike feels for a 6'3" rider, and the seat's comfortable. The riding position is comfortable, no problems at all, I don't think, guys, really. But like, back to the screen, it's quite easy to read. I can see the speed in front of me, the gear that I'm in, the amount of petrol that I've got. That's all very clear. My lights, the temperature outside, the time of day, and whether the cruise control is set or not. This bike has got cruise control, which is lovely. I love my cruise control, so that's a nice feature. We're just kind of 10 minutes into the bike now, and I'm just beginning to get the feel of her now. There is a button for the rider modes. There's a bike mode here. Here it is, it's here. So I can change the mode from road to sport to rain to road, and we'll stick it in road. Interestingly enough, this bike will not start unless you pull the clutch in. So that's a bit of a strange one. I mean, I think if I'm in neutral, the bike should start, but for some reason that isn't the case with this machine. So out here on the dual carriageway, it's a lovely bike to be on. The cruise control works nicely, nice and easy. Just a push of the button here to set. You just push and hold at the speed you're at, and it will push and hold. The brakes are very nice indeed, guys. Nice and strong brakes. The back brake actually feels very good, and the acceleration of the bike is really quite impressive, as you would expect with 180 brake horsepower. But with that figure, you would think the bike was quite scary. It's not scary at all, actually. It's very much based on, you know, you get what you put in, basically. You get out what you put in. That's pretty much the size of it. But you do have to be quite aggressive with the input in first gear. The bike will stall quite easily if you try and, you know, feather it away. That's what I found anyway, initially. But once you get used to it, actually, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just a characteristic of the bike, and it just wants to be revved a little bit harder. Quick shifter really smooth, riding position very comfortable, and overall it's a very, very nice riding experience. On this particular seat there is a cover over the pillion seat, but there is pillion pegs, so I assume you can get a pillion on. It's quite a small bike, so you know it's not going to be the sort of bike you want to go much distance with a pillion. But as far as the engine goes and everything else, obviously it's very, very capable. No problems for long distance journeys on a bike like this. It's just absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely bike. Let's just show you how she moves to overtake. And the acceleration is really very, very good. I'm in road mode at the moment, and the acceleration in road mode is absolutely fine. You don't need any more than what that mode's giving you. But I will try the sport mode out a little bit later on to just adjust and see the difference between the two. So we've done some country lanes, and we've done some dual carriageway 60-mile-an-hour riding. And now we're just going to go into Chelmsford Town Centre and see what she's like in that scenario. Okay, so we're heading into Chelmsford Town Centre now to see how she handles around there. The bike has got auto-cancelling indicators, I have learned as I've been riding, which is nice. Like I say, the cruise control is easy to set. The pressure and discomfort in my wrists that I mentioned in the first 5-10 minutes of the ride, that has gone now, and I'm getting used to the position, so it's not something that's going to be a long-term thing, but potentially it's something that you know, you will feel coming from a different style bike if you're not used to being a little bit haunched forwards, canted forward. The bike feels grippy and controlled, turns into the corners nicely, very easy display to understand right in front of you on the screen. The clutch is a little bit heavier than my bike, my R1250R Sport, and the quick shifter is very smooth, but it does need a very positive kick. It's not as light as the KTM's version of the quick shifter. I still think that's the absolutely best quick shifter out there, out of the Triumphs, the BMWs and the KTMs. KTM is top of the list on quick shifter as far as I'm concerned. That's my own personal point of view, but there's nothing wrong with this quick shifter. It works very nicely indeed. So, ergonomically, very comfortable. I'm set up very upright, actually. I say there is a bit of pressure on the wrists, and there is, because I'm leaning slightly forward, but I'm actually quite upright. So that's very nice. And here we are, in town, having to wait for the refuse lorry. There's a lovely sound to this exhaust. Absolutely lovely sound to the exhaust. And we're going to go up this new one-way, which has been put in recently over the last few months, up past Chelmsford train station. It's lovely and sunny out here today, guys, absolutely beautiful. There's some new buildings. That dog doesn't like bikes. That dog does not like bikes. Past Chelmsford train station. And at these speeds, guys, in road mode, the bike's very well behaved. Doesn't really want to get out of control. Isn't pushing me to go faster than I want to go, which is nice. And yeah, overall, it's pretty easy. So yeah, you can pop to town on this bike. No issues. The exhaust note is one of the biggest attractions to this motorbike for me. It's a lovely sounding exhaust. People will listen to you and look at you on this bike. And for me, the Triumphs, they've got the best sounding exhausts out of all of the bikes out there, really, I think. This is stock. Obviously, you can add an aftermarket can if you want to. I don't ever think you'd need to with one of these. Lovely. Over the speed bumps, no problems. As people are spilling out onto the pavement now with the sun coming out and COVID restrictions possibly about to completely lift in a week or so. The world has a very normal feel to it at the moment. Very normal indeed. So the mirrors are very good. The switchgear's fine, no problems with that. I'm not having any problems interpreting the data in front of me on the TFT screen. Apparently that is revised for this bike, and it's absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned with regards to riding. No problems at all for me. I can go right here, look at that. I can go right because I'm a bike. Awesome. Because what I also want to do is just take you under the bridge, under the railway bridge. But yeah, in town, guys, on these slow roads, absolutely no problems at all. It's a very comfortable place to be. The engine and throttle response is obedient and not snatchy. You know, it's all about your input, really. Yes, it's got 180 brake horsepower, but it's only going to act crazily if your input is crazy. You have to remember that. If you control what you're putting in, then you will get out a controlled and comfortable response from this motorbike. No two ways about it. I'm going to pop past this bus, who isn't indicating, by the way. Okay, guys, so that's enough for now, and I'll see you in a minute on the bike walk around.
So guys, for those of you who are just viewing the bike walk around, welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in. And today the guest on the channel is the Triumph Speed Triple. This is the 1200 version, brand new for 2021. There are lots of revisions on this bike. I've not ridden one of these before, so I'm just going to go around and talk about the information that I know about the bike so far, and try and give you a bit more of a better understanding of how the bike works, etc. So, as I say, this is the Triumph 1200 RS Speed Triple. This is the all-new triple engine, 1160cc. It's got 180 brake horsepower, 125 newton meters of torque, and the bike weighs 198 kilos wet. 6-speed gearbox, as you'd expect. Fully adjustable Öhlins suspension front and back. A quick shifter up and down, and the quick shifter's been pretty good, to be honest with you. No problems with the quick shifter. It's not as supple and as buttery light as the KTM, but I'd say it's in line with the BMW. and it's very intuitive and very easy to use. So again, a great feature. I love a quick shifter, and this one is very, very good. We've got Brembo brakes front and back, and they're excellent. The back brake is actually quite good as well. On some of these bikes I ride, I find the back brake to be a little bit weak, but on this one it's very good. You've got twin discs at the front, single disc at the back. This bike has got a single swing arm, as you can see as you look to the rear of the bike. The can on this bike is the standard can, but it is very, very nice. It sounds absolutely beautiful, and one of the biggest attractions to all the Triumph bikes, as far as I'm concerned, especially the Speed and the Street Triples, is the way they sound. Just so nice. When you're walking around and you hear them come past you, you know what it is, and the exhaust note is absolutely beautiful, and this bike is no exception. No need for an aftermarket can, guys. The standard can is beautiful, maybe not to look at, but definitely the sound of it is absolutely wonderful. The tyres on the bike are Messlers Racetech RR tyres, keyless ride. The bike is available in this colour and in black, and miles per gallon, for those of you who are interested, is 44.8 miles per gallon. The cost of this bike is about 15 grand. That's the basic spec, and then if you want to add other bits and pieces to it, such as heated grips or other things, then that's up to you. But to be honest with you, how the bike comes, I think it's fully loaded. I mean, you know, as we walk around the bike now, like I say, we've got the single swing arm at the back, which makes the you know, opens up the back of the wheel, and it looks really, really nice. In the center of the bike here to the middle, you've got the distinctive yellow of the Olin suspension. The suspension is fully adjustable front and back. It's manual, it's not electronic like it is on some of the bikes we get in this range. And here you can see the beautiful triple engine. As we walk round to the front of the bike, here you can see we've got the Brembo brakes, we've got the twin discs, you've got gold forks, which is very nice, and then we've got the very distinctive front of this bike, which, you know, I think it's a love or hate thing, really. It looks like a bug. It looks like a bug, but actually with the rounded lights, I think it looks really nice. And with the bar end mirrors, it's yeah, it's a very nice look. I like it, but obviously whether you like it or not, gents and ladies, is completely up to you. This silver colour is quite nice. I'm not sure if I go for the silver or the black, but definitely a close call. I'd probably go for the silver. I'll stick a picture of the black one up here now. But yeah, it's very, very nice looking bike. Very, very nice. It is chain driven, LED lights front and back. The seat is super comfortable, guys. Really, really comfortable. All day comfortable, no problem at all. Nice stitching, but as you touch this, there's a lot of, it's firm, but also there's give. So it's going to be very, very comfortable, all day long comfortable, that seat, no problems at all. Like I say, chain driven. We have a new quick shifter system on this bike, which works really, really nicely. And yeah, overall, guys, very, very nice to ride. I've been on it for about 45 minutes now. I did initially feel there was quite a lot of pressure on my wrists, and I didn't like that at all. But actually, as I've got into the ride, it's not a problem at all. So a very comfortable bike, compact, nice looking petrol tank also, and you can really get your knees into that tank. The mirrors look nice, and the dash looks nice as well. So that is the bike walk around for the aesthetic side of things. Now I'm just going to jump onto the seat and we'll quickly take you through the menus. So as we turn the bike on, you get the startup screen there you just saw come up, and this is the screen you will see when you first turn the bike on. The switch gear. So at the front here we've got the light switch. That's your flasher, that's your main beams off and on. As I hit that switch there, if you look up there, you can see on the screen the green light off and on. Okay, you've got your cruise control here, which is nice and easy to use. To get into the rider mode, push the rider mode button and the screen comes across, and here you've got all your modes: sport, track, rider, rain and road. The only one I need to explain there is really rider, and that's one where you can make it individual to your tastes, basically. Okay, so to change into whatever rider mode you want, you're pushing this button here up and down, and then once you get into the mode that you want, you just push the button in, and that's it. Okay, so to get into the menus, this is the main screen. To get into the menus, we're just going to push right, and that takes us into the menus. And here we've got display, bike, that's your riding aids, coolant, warning, service settings. You've then got journey details, Bluetooth, where you've got navigation, music, you can put your phone on. There's SMS messaging there, there's GoPro connection, there's intercom and other settings. So there's a lot there basically, guys. But essentially, really, I'm only interested in the rider modes, and you know, the rest of it's going to be if you're an owner, and that's what you're going to be interested in. And essentially, to get in and out of the menu, we're just pushing this button to the right to get in, and then using that, basically the same button up and down, to toggle through the menus. Okay, that's really easy to understand. It's quite intuitive, and actually it's a very, very easy system to use, which is nice. It's quite bright out here today, and there's no problems to see the screen at all. Within the screen, we've got the time, we've got the temperature outside, you've got your gear mode, you've got the speed you're currently going in digital format, which is really nice. And like I say, I've been through this side of the switchgear. Here's the horn, and that's kind of as expected really, guys, isn't it? So up here we've got a steering lock button, which I'll show you in a second, hazard lights, kill switch off and on, and then a home button, which when I push, it basically just takes me back into the menus. Okay, so you can go into it that way. Use your right hand thumb to open the menus, and then left hand on this button here to go left and right, up and down, to control exactly what you want. And then when you're making your decisions of what you want, it pushes in to make an affirmative choice of what you want within the menu. And that's pretty much it. So it's quite simple really, guys. So that is the display on the bike, which is very nice indeed. So basically, to turn the bike off, all the way up, and now she's off, if I push that, the steering is now locked. Okay, so the key's in my pocket. It is keyless ride. I turn her on, that comes off, the bike turns on nicely, no problems at all. What we haven't done is shown you how she sounds. Here's the exhaust, and here's how she sounds. And I think that's absolutely beautiful the way she sounds. Very, very nice indeed. So guys, that's the bike walk around. I hope I've gone through everything that you're interested in within the bike, but if you have got any questions, then do of course leave me a comment below. Now we're going to take some faster roads on our way back to Triumph LING in Gt Dunmow to take the bike back.
Okay, so off we go. Wow, very, very nice out here today. Perfect day for a ride. So that was interesting just there. So the keyless ride, it's a little bit finickety. If you don't put the key in the right place, I mean, the key was in my pocket, and as far as I'm concerned, it should recognise that. But it did turn on, and then it didn't turn on, so it's a bit of a strange one. Bit of a weird scenario. But anyway, we got it started, but that's a potential little glitch that we don't want to have to deal with on a bike that costs 15 grand. I'm not sure if any owners out there, I suppose, if you could comment and let me know if you have any problems with the keyless ride. But essentially, there's a sensor at the front and a sensor at the rear, apparently. So it should pick up fairly straightforward. But it didn't on this occasion. Let's have a look and see what this bike is like at getting through traffic. Yeah. Actually, the ride through town was very, very good. and getting through traffic was not a problem at all either. As I said before, I've not ridden an incarnation of this motorbike before, so I didn't really know what to expect, but it's a very easy bike to ride. It's very comfortable, great seat, good ergonomics, obviously a very powerful engine, but also it's not a scary engine. The power input, the control as you turn the throttle is very much as expected. It's a very, very capable machine, obviously. This bike will be absolutely fine on the motorways, guys. Yes, no problems at all. Long journeys, no problems at all either, due to the ergonomics and a comfortable seat. The only restrictions you're going to have on this particular bike is probably the ability to carry luggage, but I'm sure there are solutions, tail bags and tank bags and all that sort of thing that you can get for this bike. But this bike, its home is really the twisty country lanes. It's the best place to ride any motorbike really, and this bike makes it really effortless. It really sticks into the corners. The tyres give you great confidence. The brakes are excellent. The gear shifting is really, really good, up and down. Engine braking is nice. That triple engine, the beautiful sound that it makes, really, really makes you want to ride longer and longer, to be honest with you. And even for a tall chap like myself, not really too much of a struggle. I can flat foot very easily, and for shorter riders this bike is not going to be a problem at all. I'm not exactly sure of the seat height, but I'll put it up here, but I'm going to guess it's not going to be any more than 800 millimeters. The bike itself, it feels like it's quality. The switchgear is okay. I wouldn't say it was the best switchgear I've encountered, but it's adequate. It does the job. I don't know if it's backlit or not, but it's very good. For the indicator switch sticks out nicely. I don't have to go looking for that. It has got self-cancelling indicators on this bike. It's very nimble, flickable, easy to manoeuvre. Let's see what she's like going up to 60. Oh my god. We're in sport mode. And yeah. The gear changes are very short. She wants you to change up quickly. But that's lovely, absolutely lovely. But you can just, you can cruise around at low speeds, and she will also go extremely quick. And of course, much like the Super Duke, you can take this bike on the track. So if that's your thing, then this sort of machine is ideal, because the road riding it's going to do without any grumbles at all, and of course you can ride it on the road as well with no problem at all. So that's perfect. The best of both worlds. Me personally, I don't think I would own a bike like this as my one and only bike, but if I could have more than one bike, then yes, it would definitely be on the list. For someone with such big feet, I have had to get used to the positioning of the pegs and the gear shifter. I do miss now and again, but that's not the bike's design, that's just my huge feet. But yeah, overall guys, a very, very capable bike, a comfortable bike quickly. Within no time at all you get used to the controls and how the bike feels around the corners, how it brakes, when to change gear. You can trust the bike into the corners. The tyres are grippy. There's no nasty surprises with the bike. The engine braking is very good. Overall, it's an excellent, excellent machine. And I've watched a few reviews on the bike, and I think some have said that the road riding isn't as comfortable or as plush as the outgoing model. I can't really tell you about that because I've not ridden that bike, but I can tell you that this particular model, the quality and comfort of the suspension, it's not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. It's a really, really nice feeling bike with the ergonomics. Now, I had this similar complaint on the Super Duke. Not a complaint really, but just a comment, just an observation. The cruise control, it cannot be set on the Super Duke below 40 miles an hour third gear, straight out the box. But KTM did say to me later that that can be amended, that can be adjusted. So that may be the case also here with the Triumph, with this bike, but straight out of the box as it's set up, I cannot set cruise control. I'm 28 miles an hour, I'm second gear, I can't set the cruise control, which to me is a bit of a pain. You know, that's not ideal. Because like I say, on my bike, on the BMW R1250R Sport, the cruise control will turn on at any given moment. First gear, 15 miles an hour, cruise, no problem. And that just, you know, that just creates a bit more ease at slow speeds when I might need to do something else and I need a hand free. I mean, I wouldn't recommend taking your hand off of the handlebars to anybody when you're riding, but sometimes when you're vlogging, you need a hand free, and that means that I've had to stop the bike a couple of times to start and stop recording. But you know, nothing, that's not a major complaint. That's just a minor niggle. The brake lever and the clutch lever are adjustable, just there. And the quick shifter is silky smooth, very, very nice. Down, down, engine braking coming into effect, no need to touch the brake. It's a lovely bike, guys, really. I think as you ride it more and more, you'll grow more into it and how it works. And the crackle and pop of the exhaust, adding to the already beautiful tone. It's a really lovely, lovely riding experience. So guys, thanks very much indeed for coming along with me on this ride this afternoon. Thanks very much for viewing the video. To those of you who have subscribed to the channel, thank you very much indeed. It's very much appreciated. And to those of you who are viewing for the first time, welcome to the channel, guys. Please do have a look around and please do leave me your comments. Until next time, guys, this has been me with the RS 1200 Speed Triple. Thanks very much again for viewing. And until next time, guys, please do ride safe. Steering locked. On. Oh. Bike does not want to turn on. There we go. I think it's turning on now. Excellent. Just in time for a car to come along as well.